At the foot of the ancient Mwiko Hill, where the red earth met the sky and the wind carried the scent of wild honey and acacia, sat the village of Kiteme. Thatched roofs gleamed under the sun, and goats bleated softly near the clay compounds. Life in Kiteme was simple but sweet, like ripe mangoes in November. Children played in dusty courtyards, chasing tires with sticks or jumping over knotted ropes as their laughter echoed across the open fields. Elders sat beneath the old fig tree at the village square, their walking sticks beside them, voices telling tales of lion hunts and rain spirits. Every full moon, women gathered at the communal fire to cook banana stew and roast maize while sharing whispers and stories between handfuls of groundnuts. There was unity in Kiteme, the kind that's woven through shared songs, past gourds of honey wine, and fires that never burned alone. The kind of peace that made you think nothing bad could ever come near. Then, one market day, a man stepped out of a car no one had ever seen. It was black and long and shiny as obsidian. When its door opened, the wind seemed to hold its breath. He wore a white linen shirt, spotless despite the dust. His skin was dark and flawless, his beard trimmed like a city man, and his eyes, his eyes, held a strange stillness like deep water with no ripples. "My name," he said with a respectful nod, "is Baraka. My parents were born here, but I was raised in Nairobi. I only heard of this place through my late mother's stories." The villagers welcomed him with wide smiles. "Karibu sana," they said. "You are one of us." That first visit, he came with only words and a few sugar bags for the elderly. He left quietly after 2 days. No one thought much of it. But then he returned. The second time he brought mosquito nets. The third time solar lamps. By the 5th visit, he was building a new borehole. Women danced. Men slaughtered a goat in his honor. Children sang for him in the village square. Mwana wa Kiteme, they called him, the child of Kiteme. Visit after visit, Baraka's generosity grew. Each time he came with more: books, desks for the old classroom, uniforms for the poorest children. A truck brought medicine from the city. He even paid for the chief's daughter to attend nursing college. After his 10th visit, he called for a village meeting. Under the moonlight, surrounded by elders and youth alike, Baraka cleared his throat and said, "This village, it speaks to something deep in me. I've decided to return, to build a home here, to invest here. This is where my roots belong." People cheered. Children clapped. The drums played late into the night. Weeks later, construction began near Mwiko Hill's base. The land once used for grazing now bore the foundation of what would soon be the grandest building anyone had ever seen in Kiteme, Baraka Academy. Baraka employed locals, paid them well, and fed their families. Within a year, the school stood tall, painted bright green with yellow trims, metal swings in the playground, a computer lab, and even flushing toilets. On opening day, everyone gathered. Elders blessed the land. The chief wept tears of pride. The children were in awe. From that day forward, the village glowed with hope. Their sons and daughters had a future now. Real one. Life continued, sweet as always. But somewhere along the edges, cracks began to form. One afternoon, 11-year-old Chebet failed to return from the forest. Her mother thought she'd gone to collect firewood. By sunset, her name echoed through every path, every tree. No answer. The village searched for days. Nothing. The chief shook his head. Maybe she wandered too far. These forests, they hide many things. Weeks passed. A young boy named Juma left for the stream. He never came back. Then it was the baker's daughter. Then twins from the neighboring village. One by one, quietly. The village whispered, but no one accused. Children had always wandered. It was tragic, yes, but life had to go on. And Baraka, he comforted the grieving, paid for search efforts, brought city police. He stood with the families, donated more to the community, and even built a security watchtower. And so, people hushed their fears. After all, bad things happen even in the best of places. But the mothers never slept the same again. Time passed. The school thrived. Baraka was now fully one of them. He married a local girl, hosted large gatherings, and prayed with them. But behind his mansion walls, no one really knew what went on. It was during the harvest season, 2 years after his arrival, that twins disappeared again. Nia and Nima, beloved children known for their music. They had gone to fetch water. The jug was found tipped near the well. But they were gone. Panic set in. This time the village did not hush. This time something in the air broke. The elders gathered in silence. A diviner was secretly summoned from 3 hills away. She sat before the fire, her bones clicking in her hand, eyes rolling back. Her words chilled the night. These children were not taken by wild beasts, nor by spirits. They were chosen by a man. A man clothed in light but walking in shadow. The villagers looked at one another, faces pale, words stuck in throats. Man of light. Who had brought light more than Baraka? But no one wanted to believe. Until one curious boy, Musa, nephew to the night watchman, followed Baraka's gardener to the forest. He watched him lower a sack into a hidden ditch. When he returned with men, they found bones. Tiny brittle bones. And in a box near them, a necklace belonging to Nima. The storm broke. That night, villagers gathered in silence, carrying torches. Baraka, confident as ever, opened his gate when they knocked. But the truth was now a flood. The people stormed his home. Inside they found hidden tunnels beneath the mansion. Rooms with strange writings. A locked chamber full of red candles and ash-covered carvings. And journals, meticulously written, listing names, birthdates, disappearances. But Baraka did not escape. On the night when the final child disappeared, a twin boy whose name was sung in lullabies, rage pulsed through the village like a heartbeat. The elders gathered beneath the ancient fig tree. Mzee Mambo, eyes clouded with age but vision sharp as truth, raised his hand and spoke. It is time. The villagers moved like a tide, silent and united through the night. No shouting, no warning. Just fireflies in their lanterns and fire in their chests. Baraka, cloaked in his usual grace, had not expected them. He was in the middle of a strange ritual, deep beneath his mansion, a place no one had ever seen. But the villagers had found the hidden passage, guided by dreams, by whispers from mothers who could no longer sing, and by the tears of fathers who had forgotten how to laugh. They found him, face pale, robes soaked in something no one dared name. He smiled at first, a sly thing. You don't understand. We do, they said. And they bound him, not with rope, but with chains blessed by elders, soaked in river water drawn before dawn, woven with chants that hadn't been spoken in generations. They did not tax him to the police. They did not bury him. They took him to the sacred grove beyond Mwiko Hill, a place so ancient it was said the gods themselves still walked it barefoot. No one had entered it in over a century, not even hunters. But that night, the forest parted like it remembered them. In the center of the grove stood the stone of reckoning, smooth, tall, humming with unseen power. The villagers placed Baraka before it. Mzee Mambo stepped forward and spoke in the old tongue. Spirits of the mountain, keepers of truth. We bring you one who used the gifts of life to breed death. Judge him not as we would, but as you must. The wind stilled. The crickets silenced. Even the trees held their breath. Then a thunderous groan shook the earth. The stone cracked open, not broken but awakened. A light poured from within, ancient and gold, wrapping Baraka like a flame that did not burn, but revealed. His form twisted, the shadows peeled off his body like a second skin, exposing what he truly was. Hollow, eaten from within by the greed he had fed on. He screamed, but not out of pain, out of truth. For the first time he saw himself. And then the grove swallowed him. No grave, no dust, just silence. The villagers left without a word. From that day on, no more children vanished. The laughter returned slowly, tenderly, like grass growing back after fire. The fig tree once again held their stories. And where Baraka's mansion once stood, wildflowers bloomed, untouched and glowing white beneath the moonlight. And every year, on the night of the last moon, the people of Kiteme gather in the grove. They don't speak his name, but they pour milk on the earth. And they whisper, "Let no greed ever wear a kind face again." The gods, they say, are still listening. As the village of Kiteme healed, the people gathered, grateful for the lessons they had learned through their pain. They realized that not all who appear kind are pure, and that evil can hide behind the mask of generosity. Their silence, which once allowed darkness to grow, now became a reminder that when something is wrong, it must be spoken of. Through unity, courage, and the honoring of their ancestors, the villagers found justice and protection. They learned that the innocence of children must always be guarded, for a community that fails them loses its very soul. The fall of Baraka was not just a punishment, but a powerful reminder that truth, no matter how buried, will always emerge in the end. With these lessons etched in their hearts, the people of Kiteme promised to live with vigilance, togetherness, and a deep respect for their roots, ensuring that the darkness would never rise again.